Yeah, I am live. Good evening. Well, boys and girls, you just heard the lovely orchestra of Spudlock. Yeah, my group. And yet another song we recorded in the late 80s, early 90s. And since I had to watch a football game before I came on air tonight, I decided to play something we did called Utter Football. I played guitar and bass and the drum machine. And Todd did all the various vocals on there. And the lyrics to that song are, here's a game that you can play. All you need is boots and the nearest cow. Take a running start and kick its udder. And then various improvisations on top of that. So, that's that. Good evening. It is September 3rd, 2022, and it is time for the live stream Bill's Box of Sound. Talk about all sorts of stuff that happened lately. So, excuse me. I apologize that I was not here last week. Last week, I was DJing. I played a party for our local convenience food mart. The store had been open for about 44 years, and through some not so nice business deals, the guy who ran the place for about 44 years, real nice dude, he lost his lease and he had to give the store up. So he sold everything that was left in the store. I mean, he sold the counters, the shelves, the lottery license, the liquor license, the refrigeration units. He sold every damn thing. And he threw a party for his staff and his customers. And I volunteered to DJ the thing for free. It was a lot of fun, but I ended up playing music for 10 hours straight. It was a lot of fun, but very, very, very worth the time. A lot of love goes out to the folks at that party. And that was that. So that's why I wasn't here last week. And next week, I'm probably not going to be here because, well, if I do come back, I'm going to be reporting on a Blue Oyster Cult concert. A friend of mine and I are going to see Blue Oyster Cult at the MGM Grand out in Cleveland. And if I get back in time, hey, I'll do a show. But if not, you won't see me. You won't see me. Okay, so. Stanlow Crickets 888 says, and I place it on the screen, will you remaster and release that on half-speed mastered 180 gram vinyl? Well, first I got to put it on DSD and make believe it's analog, and and then half speed master it. But yeah, I do want to put the Spudlock stuff on vinyl. It's there's several things going on right now, and part of it's money, part of it's supply chain, and there's all sorts of other things going on. But I would like to put out a Spudlock album at some time in the future, so we'll be doing that. And for those of you who did miss the song when we first started, will be playing it again at the end of this show. So that's that. Looks like we got 6 people watching. Hello, good evening. And let's see. First things first. This past week, I it was really happy that I got to do an interview with Joe Travers, the Vault Meister. And for those who are not already hip to it, the Vault Meister is the person who is in charge of plundering the vault, Zappa's vault, Frank Zappa's huge, uh, endless, bottomless pit of recordings that he did during his lifetime. He recorded every show that he possibly could, and this is all the stuff. And since he passed away, just about all of the majority of the releases have been taken from this vault. And Joe is the guy who is in charge of it, and he's been doing a fantastic job. Had a great conversation with him. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. I'm very proud of it, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. Um, Joe, I didn't reach out to Joe first. I mean, I asked him if he'd like to do an interview, and he instantly said yes. But I've been in touch with Joe for a couple of years. He responded to one of my videos, and that sparked a an email conversation that we've had for the past few years. Um, he's just a great guy. If you live in the Los Angeles area, the Zappa band is going to be playing the Baked Potato. Uh, 8 shows, 4 different dates coming up to Halloween. And if you like Zappa music and you don't go out and see them, there's something wrong with you, I say. And oh, glad you liked Utter Football, Carlos. I've checked out a few of your videos, and I know that you have an affectionate affectionate vein all running all the way through you for different types of noise. And hey, that's it. And volume 2 of the Devo will be live recordings. So hopefully I'll be doing that soon. But man, have I got a busy September. It's ridiculous. Um, One thing that I have been listening to in the past week or so is a podcast. Now, I live in a Cleveland area, Cleveland, Ohio, and I know that a lot of people who watch my channel are from Cleveland as well. And if if you have lived in the Cleveland area and you're anywhere near my age, and yes, I'm in my 60s. Uh, Hold on a second here. Um, Very popular Cleveland radio station is WMMS, and that was a big part of my radio listening when I was growing up, and I was in high school in the 70s. And that station started out as like an underground rock station, and then it turned into a top 40 station for a few weeks, and then it went back to being an underground rock station, and then it just started growing and growing and growing, and it became a powerhouse, a very popular station that influenced lots of album-oriented rock stations around around the nation. and they eventually got a little too big for their britches, and the quality of the station started deteriorating. And then they got too popular, and they were the originator of the morning zoo type of morning show with all the wacky things that they do and all the little skits and ha 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 ha. That's so funny, Mr. Leonard. And when they started getting really super popular, I tuned out of the station. As a matter of fact, I constructed a T-shirt that said, "I never listened to WMMS." Friend of mine has that shirt now. She posted a picture on Facebook of her wearing the shirt. Uh, and I had to comment, "Hey, I made that shirt. What are you doing with it?" But I guess I gave it to her. We dated for a short time. Long story. Anyway, but there is a podcast called The Wrath of the Buzzard, put out by Profiles. And Profiles is spelled PROH files because it centers on things in the state of Ohio. It comes out from Wessler Media. And just search for The Wrath of the Buzzard on your podcast client. I use the iTunes Music Store and or the podcasts app. There's 6 episodes, each about an hour long, and then they got bonus episodes, 3 more 1-hour episodes. This podcast tells the story, and it tells it truthfully with all of the people that started this radio station and got it going. It's a great story. And you hear all about how the music got started, how they broke David Bowie in America, how they found an eccentric ad salesman that helped them actually turn a profit on their station, and how this guy turned into the guy that kicked off the weekend every weekend, Murray Saul, the Get Down Man. That's documented in there. And it does document when they got super popular and when they started going downhill. And there's differing opinions as to why the station started, but it just basically got too big for its own self, and it became so successful that when the station started changing hands, they hired national consultants to do stuff. And of course, in the broadcasting business, if any of you are in the broadcasting business, you know that consultants are people who couldn't be successful in broadcasting, and they get hired to tell broadcasters what to do. And that makes for a very bad radio. And when that started happening, I tuned into college radio. And this is all pre-internet, of course. It's a great story. It tells all about the rise and fall of WMMS in Cleveland. And then there's a couple of bonus episodes afterwards. And they have more stories from the glory days of WMMS, as well as complete interviews that they taped. Interview with John Lennon, interview with Paul McCartney, interview with Bono and the Edge from U2, interview with Bob Seger, interview with the Ramones. Great stuff. So very much worth the listening. Also, there's a lot of really funny stuff. Of course, they had a lot of fun at that station. They made fake commercials. There was an April Fool's Day where they stripped out most of the ads and replaced them with fake ads. Got in a lot of trouble for it. Also, what they would do is all the DJs that were on during the day at that station, they switched shifts. So you'd hear the morning person in drive time and the drive time person at night and whatever. It uh, very, very highly recommended. If you are a former resident of Cleveland, or if you're a current resident of Cleveland, or you're just interested in the history of rock and roll radio, check out that podcast. It's called The Wrath of the Buzzard. Search for that and you'll find it. Start with the first episode and go through. I really hate how the podcast app on Apple, when you pick out an episode, it starts going backwards each episode, each episode, each episode. So like if you pick episode 8, it plays episode 8 and then it starts playing episode 7. So I got to keep on pulling all of that stuff. And there's also a couple of songs by a Cleveland troubadour, Alex Bevan. He was very popular for a song called Skinny Little Boy from Cleveland, Ohio. And he plays another song on there, which is called, hang on a second, because I searched it earlier today. Nope, that's not it. Where is it? No. Come on. Where is that Alex Bevan thing that I searched earlier today? Oh, okay, here we go. Here we go. A song called Dreams Came by Alex Bevan. It's a acoustic song about finding an old tube radio at a garage sale and the memories that it brings back. So the first of the 2 Taylor Hawkins concerts happened today at Wembley Stadium in London. And anybody watch it? I haven't watched it yet. I've been busy all day long with stuff. If you haven't watched it and you want to watch it, you can go onto YouTube. It's on the MTV channel. Just search for Taylor Hawkins tribute concert. The whole thing is like 6 hours long. And people have been posting pictures about it all day long. James Gang played, and I guess that in addition to other guest drummers, Nandi Bushell and Taylor Hawkins' son played drums for the Foo Fighters at the end. So looking forward to that as well. What else be new? Records I bought this week. Check this one out. Got this for $12. The second Nas album, Nas. Bought this on Discogs. All the songs are written by Todd Rundgren, and there's a very young Todd right there. This album came out in 1969. A wizard, a true star. He is and was. What else did I get this week? Not much. Summer's winding down. So, who else is here? I don't know if I talked about the new Zappa release that's coming out in October. But hey, Richard Riley is there. Richard, I gotta say, I should have made a comment. That video of you playing Funky Town and sitting out there catching some rays in the sun and just having a good time, I loved that video. I laughed my ass off. You were in rare form, sir. And if I had a hot hat, I'd take it off to you because, excuse me, that was some really cool stuff there. completely out of left field, unexpected, but hilarious, and it looked like you were having a lot of fun. If and Folks, if you don't watch Richard Riley, you're missing out on a lot. This is a gentleman that's even older than I am. As a matter of fact, he's in. You're in. I believe you're in your 80s. If I'm not incorrect there, Richard. And he's into a lot of cool music. He's into a lot of music from way back, but he's also into music that happens today as well. He's got a very open mind. He's into audio equipment. He is 80. Yes, indeed. And uh, he has a lot of good insights on audio equipment, on audiophile records, and just music in general. So, if you got an open mind, check out Richard Riley's channel. A big shout out to him. And Oh, I got a comment here about the WMMS stuff that I was talking about. You remember MMS when they were good? Yes, love the coffee break concerts. Well, thank you for chiming in, Charlie. Appreciate that. And I've been thinking, you never know. I might just invite people up this evening if anybody's interested. If you're on a laptop or you got a webcam and you're interested in stopping in, if anybody did watch the Taylor Hawkins Memorial Concert, I want to find out who played there aside from the Foo Fighters and the James Gang. I know Elton John was supposed to play, and there are other places. If you watched the concert, please let me know. Let me see if I'll post a link, okay, and then I'll change my audio settings here, and I'll put my headphones on so I can hear you. And what'll we do here? Let's see, share. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. Invite. All right, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to post this link here. I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to let you in the studio because we don't want a situation that like poor Rachel, the music ma'am, had where somebody did something ridiculously obscene and their entire channel got obliterated. Um, Got to be very careful who you let on air. But if you've got something that's constructive, I'd be more than happy to do stuff. Oh, yeah. Um, Carlos says he saw a clip where Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson were playing there. Speaking of Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson, did anybody see the stuff from the South Park 25th anniversary concert where Primus and the two remaining uh, members of Rush were there with Matt Stone from South Park, and they were jamming out to "Closer to the Heart" by Rush. That was awesome. So, all right, let me grab my headphones. They're way up here. And if any of you folks have something you want to talk about, hey, by all means, do it. Let's see. Okay. There is the StreamYard link. Go to there, and you may want to do that. Let me change my audio settings just a little bit. Okay. Let me do that. Okay. Well, hello there, Record Collector News. Watched a couple of your videos this week. Very nice. And he has a report on the Taylor Hawkins concert as well. He says Paul McCartney and Chrissie Hynde did a duet. Stuart Copeland played drums. Hey, folks, I've got a Stuart Copeland story. I don't know if I've told this before, but hey, I might do it again. Um, Charlie, to answer your question about it's not a South Park episode. There was a concert held that was a South Park 25th anniversary celebration, and I saw stuff on YouTube. So uh, look for South Park Primus Rush or South Park 25th anniversary concert. You should be able to find it. But what was I gonna say about these things? Da, 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 da. Okay, what was I just talking about? I forget. Anyway, yeah. Questions, questions, questions. If you've got the questions, I was talking to Mr. Record Collector News. That's it. Watched a couple of your videos. I liked the one where you had records that. Oh yeah, Stuart Copeland story. Thank you, Carlos. Of all the things that I've lost, it's my mind that I miss the most. Okay. Back in the late 70s, I started writing for a magazine here in Cleveland called Scene Magazine. I did record reviews and concert reviews, and I was marginally employed for a while. And at one point in time, to help pay the bills, I did singing telegrams. And to do these singing telegrams, the company that was employing me had me wear a red velvet suit coat, a top hat, um, a ruffled shirt, and I carried around a mechanical monkey that had little cymbals that went like that. And I would sing funny songs as I was paid to do, drop in on people as a surprise and sing songs to them and do a singing telegram. So CN Magazine thought that that was pretty interesting, and they wanted me to do a story on it. And they wanted to take some pictures. So they said, come on down to the offices and change into your outfit. We'll take some pictures and we'll put it in with the story. So I go into the men's room and I brought my suit on a hanger and I'm taking off my clothes and I'm in various states of undress. And unbeknownst to me, the police were in town to do an interview story with another reporter at Scene Magazine. And who walks into the restroom but Stuart Copeland? Sees me and all these clothes around the restroom, and he just gives me this look as to what the hell's going on here. So I said, "Oh, I'm changing into this suit because I do singing telegrams, and they want to take some pictures of me." And he says, "Oh, okay. Well, excuse me. I'll try not to piss on your suit." That's it. That's my Stuart Copeland story. So, yes, there is a new Zappa release in October called, and I'm probably still butchering the pronunciation of this, Zagreb Ljubljana, and it's recorded in 1975. And just this past week, I interviewed the Vault Meister for the Zappa Vault, Joe Travers, and it was a lot of fun. And that 2 CD live set will be coming out in October. I have only heard one track from it, and you can hear that track too. Um, it's on the Frank Zappa YouTube channel. It's a early version before there were lyrics of "Wind Up Working in a Gas Station." Very interesting stuff. So if you're into Frank Zappa and you don't know about that already, check that out. And if you don't know about my interview with Joe Travers, please take a look at my channel. It just happened in the past week or two. And I originally thought that this interview was going to be an hour long, but we enjoyed talking to each other, and the conversation went so well that I ended up talking to him for an hour and a half. Now, personally, when I see somebody putting out an interview and it's like more than an hour long, I kind of hesitate because it's like, oh man, do I have that much time to sit and watch an interview? So I usually shy away a lot of times from the real long videos that people put out. But you know what? Sometimes if it's something that I'm that interested in and I want to watch it, I will go ahead and check that out. So, for those of you who have already watched the Joe Travers interview, thank you so much for watching it. I really appreciated it. Um, it's just as much fun to watch as it was to do. And also, I'm in the middle of watching an interview with Stephen Wilson from Porcupine Tree, and I'm trying to remember what the name of that was. It's something about how he's done everything wrong in his career. Let me check my history real quick. Here we go. Pardon me. Oh yeah. The name of the video is Stephen Wilson, I've Done Everything Wrong. Now that's an hour and 45 minutes long. I had some time to kill, so I watched that. But I was having a lot of fun with that. And also, speaking of podcasts, when I was talking about the WMMS podcast about the rise and fall of the buzzard, uh, there is a podcast that Stephen Wilson does. I've talked about this many times before with Tim Boness from No Man, and it's called The Album Years. And if you're a record geek and an album geek, and especially if you like the British side of stuff with not only American bands and artists, but British bands and artists, check out The Album Years. I can't get enough of it. I told a friend about it, and he says, "Man, I listened to an hour of it. I couldn't stand it. And I can't stand how they love Scott Walker." Well, I'm I'm into a lot of music, but there's a lot of music I'm not into. For instance, I just don't like Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. I've tried really hard to listen to Wilco, but I just don't like Wilco that much. I'm sorry. And Carlos says that he was just a kid when Shake Your Booty was brand new. Some more records. Let's pull them out. Let's see. Are these the same records that were here before? There's a real good a video that Mazzy put out about his ranking of the American Beatles albums. Um, and he prefaces the beginning of the video by saying, "Now, a lot of you people are going to give me flack for this, but the American Beatle albums are just so different than the UK's, and for the general Beatle fan growing up in the 60s and 70s, a lot of us had no idea that there were these different versions of Beatle albums in different parts of the world, well, Europe and whatever, and we just knew the Capitol albums. It started with "I Want to Hold Your Hand" and went on from there. So check that video out; it's really good. What are my thoughts on Ween? You know what? A lot of fun. I know people dig the people who are into Ween dig them a lot. I think I got 2 Ween CDs, and I've listened to some of their stuff. I also listened to that one album where they hired seasoned country session musicians and did a bunch of their own songs. And Ween have a lot of excuse me. Sorry about that. They've got a lot of juvenile humor in their music, but Went down the wrong pipe. Oh, I'm going to get trolled on that one. Ween is a acquired taste. Kind of hard to get into. Another album I picked up. I've known about this album for a very long time, but I had never bought it for myself. Grand Funk Live album. Found an old used copy of this and got it. Used on Discogs, and album was not in the best of shape, but it was playable. Had to get through the skips on a couple of the songs, but lived through it. It was fun. So far, nobody wants to get in on the action. Nobody wants to share the screen. That's fine. Thoughts on Barnes and Barnes. Woohoo! I love Barnes and Barnes. I've got, I think, 4 albums by them. Let me grab them. I'll be right back. B-A-R. Let's see here. Here we go. I've got 4 albums by Barnes and Barnes. Now, everybody here has probably heard one song by Barnes and Barnes, and that is Fish Heads. You know, fish heads, roly-poly fish heads. Played on the Dr. Demento show. It's like the most popular song of theirs ever. And Barnes and Barnes consists of Art and Artie Barnes. Artie Barnes, I forget what his real name is, but Art Barnes is Bill Mooney, who, for older people, they grew up knowing him as Will Robinson on the old TV show Lost in Space. Well, he went on to do other acting roles, and he did something on the Twilight Zone when he was a kid. He was a child actor, but now he's a musician. And here's an album of theirs called Six, Sicks, and each of these songs has something sick about it. Dig these song titles. Well, they do okay. They do a cover version of "If You Want to Be Happy for the Rest of Your Life, Never Make a Pretty Woman Your Wife." Then they've got, okay, check out these song titles: "Pussy Whipped," "Dead Baby Hunt," "Pizza Face," "Lick Lap," "Scary Love," "Sit on My Lap and Call Me Daddy," "Love Button," "Preschool Games," "Smelly Finger Blues," and "I Hate the Boss." Now, one thing about Barnes and Barnes that you'll find out, I mean, and it's very obvious once you start listening to them, every single song of theirs ends with the word "yeah." Don't believe me? Check it out. Here's another album I have of theirs, Amazing Adult Fantasy. These last 2 albums are on the Rhino Records label. There you go, Rhino. And oh yeah, they did the song ZZ Top Beard. I wanna grow a ZZ Top beard. Another album I have by them. When they left Rhino Records and they started going off on their own, they were on a CBS distributed label called Boulevard Records. And this is I believe it's 6 songs. One, two. It's a 5-song EP called Soak It Up. Soak It Up's a fun song. If you should take a listen to it if you can. Yeah, there's Billy Mooney, Art Barnes, and there's Artie Barnes right there. And just within the past year, they put out a new album, a three-sided album with the fourth side etched, called Pancake Dream. And this is on some crazy colored vinyl, so we have to pull this out and show it to you. Dun. All right, it's kind of purplish vinyl. And the flip side is an etching. Take a look at it, you can see that. There you go. Sometimes they're hard to see, but if you look enough, you can see that. Put that away here. And I think the first record in this two record set is a different color. So let's check that out. Oh yeah, very different. Look at this. Pancakes, syrup. Pancake Dream by Barnes and Barnes on the Demented Punk label. Now, the Demented Punk label, they put out this 2 CD set of Dr. Demento themed songs redone by modern day artists. Interesting, not great. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm in the Barnes and Barnes. And, ooh, Charlie has another comment here. You got your first taste of Roxy music in the sensational Alex Harvey band, thanks to MMS. Have been a fan since. Love that Grand Funk Live album. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to say about the WMMS podcast, The Wrath of the Buzzard. Just about everything on there is truthful. There's a couple of things that they kind of hide. They do allude that some people thought that the disc jockey known as Kid Leo was an asshole. I loved Kid Leo when he was on the air. This guy started out doing overnight shifts on WMMS, and it was the first time that I ever heard Genesis. Now, we're not talking about Genesis with Phil Collins. No, we're talking about Genesis with Peter Gabriel, 72, 73. I heard Watcher of the Skies from the Foxtrot album late at night. And I heard songs by Vandergraaf Generator and things like that. And the guy that played him was Kid Leo. He also got everybody hooked on Roxy music and Mott the Hoople. Oh, yes. Got deep into Mott the Hoople. And Saturday night shows would always start with the song Whiz Kid for a while. And I eventually did get a chance to meet Kid Leo in another one of my jobs that I did over the years. For a short time, I worked at a an electronics store called Video Concepts. They had stores in malls all across the United States, and they were one of the first purveyors of VHS cassette movies, and they sold televisions, they sold VCRs, and they sold big screen TVs. And I was working in one of them in the Cleveland area, and one day Kid Leo walked in to just look around, and I saw him, and it's like, wow, what my what my favorite disc jockey just walked in. The guy who turned me on to all these great bands. I got to go and say hello. So I went and I said, "Hi, how you doing? Anything you're looking for?" And he goes, "Nah, no, 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 not looking for anything." I said, "Okay, well, just wanted to say hello and Big fan, and I really enjoy your work on the radio." And he just shot me this dirty look, and about 60 seconds later, he walked out of the place, disgusted and just cold as hell. So the podcast paints a very favorable picture of Kid Leo as a great guy, but for the stories that said that he was a kind of hard guy to get along with, I understand him, and I don't think that that's too far from the truth. Let's see, you seem to remember something about them leaving all the master tapes and a ton of albums to after they got bought out. Hmm, I don't know about that. They do talk about when, WMMS got exclusives on albums that had not yet been released. They found ways that when a record promoter would come to visit the, station manager, and they'd listen to a record to get their opinion on it, they would have a wire going out of the room to some place where there was a tape recorder, and they taped the song. So, it was just a visit from the record promoter and saying, Here's a new song by, I don't know, Fleetwood Mac, and, it just wanna play it, get your opinion of it." And he says, "Yeah, sounds like a pretty good song. When that song comes out, yeah, we'll definitely play it." Says, "Okay, well, thanks a lot." And they take the advance record and they leave with it. And then the next day, they say, "WMMS has an exclusive, this brand new song by Fleetwood Mac before anybody else, worldwide exclusive." And they play the song on the radio. So MMS got away with a lot of stuff like that. Of course, eventually, since they got known to be the station that played exclusives, the record companies would just sneak the records to them anyway. um, but man, I remember the days when they used to play entire record sides or the entire album so you could to see what it's like. Of course, nowadays, if you want to do stuff, oh, I see. Okay, Charlie corrected himself. Master tapes of concerts. Well, the master tapes of all the concerts, they are in good hands, especially like the Bruce Springsteen concert from 78 or 79, 78 or 79. Um, but yeah, listen to that podcast, The Wrath of the Buzzard. It's great. And you will get you'll get a big kick out of it. Let's see. So what else is going on, folks? Got 10 minutes left before I shut this mess down. Yes, I did watch the Ohio University game because my wife is a huge football fan. I'm not a huge football fan, but she's turned me into a football fan, and I watched it. The Buckeyes won, as they should, against Notre Dame. And before you know it, the Browns are going to start playing games, and the Browns are going to start losing games, as they always do. Every year, I hope the Browns will win games, but it's probably why music is the one thing that never lets you down. Hold on a second. I just got a text that I have to respond to. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, I will have to shut this mess down because the wife's going to bed. But we got 8 minutes left. Anybody else there? Music is the best. Yes, it is. Yeah, MMS did a lot of great concerts, the coffee break concerts, and they tell a lot of stories about the coffee break concert and things that went on with that. Oh, here's something I'll show you. Hello, Chief Dancing Ostrich. Check this out. A friend of mine sent me these. These are gold tone guitar strings. Very light gauge for those of you who play guitar. The E string is a 008 going down to a heavy 46 on the low E. And I'll show you, I'll pull out the low E string so you can see it. I don't know how well these will turn out on the camera, but these are gold tone strings. And they are made in Germany. Let's see if we can. Oh, there we go. You can see that gold tone beautifully. Nice. So no, I have not put those on my guitar. I have saved them because they've got Frank Zappa on there. Now, usually on my electric guitar. I usually go with the Ernie Ball Super Slinkies. Or and on my acoustic guitar, I go for the Phosphor Bronze. Uh-oh. I hear other family members upstairs. So let me pull out a couple more records here. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about very quickly. Um, for those of you who are fans of XTC and Andy Partridge, um, I've talked about his series called My Failed Songwriting Career. This is the second volume. They're EPs of 4 songs that have come out on his Ape House label, available from burningshed.com. Just announced is the third volume in the series called My Failed Christmas Career. Andy Partridge did write some songs for the Monkees Christmas album, but he has written other Christmas songs as well. And XTC did put out a 7-inch single called Thanks for Christmas, backed with Countdown to Christmas Party Time. And it wasn't credited to XTC, it was credited to the Three Wise Men, because at that time, XTC was a 3-man band with hired drummers. John Entwistle used gold strings. I believe I have read about that, his gold strings. I think he used at a time when a lot of people were using the flat wound strings on bass. John Entwistle went to the round wound strings so he could get that trebly sound like you hear on My Generation. So, all right, folks. That's about all I got to talk about. Like I said, next week I will most likely not be here, but if I get back from the Blue Oyster Cult concert in time, I'll do a late night live stream and I'll talk about the Blue Oyster Cult concert. Looking forward to seeing him. I've never seen him live before, and they're celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. And even though they have very few original members left of the Blue Oyster Cult, they are doing celebratory concerts where they play albums in their entirety, like their first few albums. The first one, the first Blue Oyster Cult, Tyranny Mutation, Secret Treatings, Secret Treaties. I don't know if they're doing stuff like Agents of Fortune and stuff like that, but look, looking very forward to going and seeing Blue Oyster Cult kick out the jams next week. So, to close out this episode, one more time, I'm going to play the song Utter Football by my band Spudlock. And I promise someday this will be on vinyl. So thank you for tuning in. Had a great time. Hope you did too. Please hit like. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I hope to see you soon. Take care, folks. More videos coming. Sing along for the second verse. Good night.